Does running in the cold cause more muscle strains? I always feel tight.
The short answer is that no, cold weather doesn't cause additional strain on your muscles. You're not more likely to strain your calf muscle or your hamstring running in cold weather than you would if you were running in very warm conditions. Now, there's an important distinction here to make. The outside temperature is not what's going to cause you to potentially strain a muscle, but a cold muscle is what may potentially cause you to strain that muscle. So the lesson here is to make sure that you are adequately warmed up before any easy running, and then of course any faster running. So if you're doing a workout and it's 10 degrees out, you need to pay a lot more attention to your warm-up before that faster workout. That means a dynamic warm-up before you even go outside to start running. It means adequate winter running gear, tights or some sort of running pants to make sure that your muscles are being protected from the wind and given another layer of insulation. And then of course there's the transition from slow to easy running, to moderate running, to hard running, to very hard running. You can't just jump up to very hard running if you're not used to that and you're not prepared to do that. So I do want to encourage every runner who is going out in the cold to make sure that they're dressed appropriately and to make sure that they warm up as much as possible before they're running, because it's much more important in the winter, especially when the temperature is about 25 degrees or lower. Now, it's also interesting to note that cold temperatures do cause less forceful muscle contractions. And so what this does is it means that your muscles are not going to operate as efficiently as they would in more ideal temperatures. So if you're running a race, you're not going to be able to race as quickly as you normally would have, even if you are warmed up and you're wearing enough running gear. Just like you can't expect to run your best race in 100-degree weather, you're not going to be able to run your best race in 10-degree weather. We all have limitations as human beings, and if it's the dog days of summer or the middle of January, you're going to struggle in both types of weather conditions. So my suggestion is to always plan your A races or your goal races in either the spring or the fall. It depends on the distance, of course. I do prefer fall marathons when the weather isn't usually as unpredictable, but racing in a more moderate temperature, somewhere in the high 40s to high 50s, is probably that sweet spot of performance. Finally, if you're feeling tight or otherwise sluggish because of the cold temperatures, a really nice way to help yourself loosen up and get a little bit more prepared for your run is to use your foam roller after your dynamic warm-up. You could even use your foam roller before your dynamic warm-up. And this is just a really helpful way to speed along that warm-up process. So if you warm up properly and include the foam roller, wear appropriate running gear, especially layers. Layering is very, very important. You can always take off a layer and either hold it or wrap it around your waist or something like that. Then your running is going to be a lot easier this winter when the temperatures do get quite cold. Okay, that concludes our winter running special here on Q&A with Coach. I hope you'd enjoyed it, and I hope you learned more about how you can make running in cold weather a little bit more enjoyable for yourself. Now, there's actually a lot more information on this topic in the full article about winter running on strengthrunning.com. So if you're watching this video on YouTube, click on underneath this video back to the Strength Running website, and you can read even more helpful advice on how you can make the most of your winter running. And of course, if you want to see any kind of running question that you have answered on the show, just tweet it to me on Twitter. My handle is JasonFitz1, and use the hashtag #RunQuestion so that I can find it. Thanks again.